At the end of a brilliant day here at the Gabba, this is Cricket Buzz Chatter, Adam Collins and him. He's Michael Vaughan. Joe Root's 132 not out. He's got the 100 in Australia. We'll come to that in a sec. A day where Mitchell Starc got another sixer. Zach Crawley got 76. There were 4 ducks in there. It was helter-skelter and a partnership that's beyond 50 for the final wicket, which will continue tomorrow. Hello, Vaughanie.
Yeah, good evening. It's late. That was just the normal day of English cricket. England don't do boring, but I tell you what they did today. They did tempo. So they kind of went up and down in the gears. If you go back to Perth, they arrived in their Ferrari, 5th gear, and boom, try to fly through Perth at a rate of knots. Today I saw a team that lost 2 early ones and then a brilliant counter punch from Zach Crawley, who played with great balance, and then the glue. For England to be successful here, they need their number 4 to be consistent, to get the score. So then there's calmness at the non-striker's end when he's batting, because he creates that calmness. And that dressing room, that dugout, is so much calmer when Joe Root's out in the middle. It was a masterstroke from Root today.
You've been close with Joe Root since he was a very young player, as a junior player, from the same part of England, to provide context to our viewers in India, how parochial that part of the UK is. There's so much pride in what he's achieved. A 40th Test 100, 5th in Ashes cricket, but some milestones are bigger than others. The Ashes in Australia, it's been the monkey on the back. 16th Test match here, he's done it today.
Yeah, and it's 30th innings down here, and 40 hundreds as you mentioned, but I think this is the most special. He might not admit it yet, but I think deep down this is the one that he wanted to go over the line and play with so much control, and it was a technical masterclass. He didn't go chasing too many balls. When the ball got a bit softer, we saw those little glances that he can play when the ball gets softer, that he plays in the UK when the ball doesn't quite bounce as much. His balance on those on-drive down the ground, his defence, left the ball beautifully. It was a wonderful innings. You could see a focus very, very early. I mean, I've kind of studied him in the nets the last few days. I've seen some clippage and I thought, his balance hasn't been quite there. And he found his balance quite early. He had about 10 balls, and it always takes 10 balls, really. Anyone in their first 10 balls can get out. And there was a moment to Starc that he found the outside edge, and Smith dived across, and I guess it carried, but it would have been an incredible catch. And then there was a couple of plays and misses, but from around the 15th ball I thought, he's starting to find his zone, he's starting to find his rhythm. And I actually think Zach Crawley helped Joe, because Zach Crawley was scoring quickly. Joe didn't have to do anything. He thought, I'll just occupy the crease, try and stay in, just get a little bit of a middle practice for a while, just to try and find the flow of batting, and that's exactly what he did.
You could see it with the response. It was like it was relief. It was almost like laughing, like, yeah, see, boys, I've done it. I mean, 40 in Test cricket. There is still more than a puncher's chance he will overtake Tendulkar's record for centuries and runs. I know a lot of people won't want to hear that, but there is some truth to it. He's within 2,300 runs of Tendulkar overall, and that magical 51 from Sachin. He could feasibly get there, which speaks volumes about...
College, you do realise this is an Indian audience.
No, I know.
They don't want to hear that, but I totally agree.
I know they don't want to hear it, but it's just like it's more a reflection of the career he's enjoyed, right? I mean, the ups and downs, the difficulty captaining in Australia, and to come out the other side and average 55 since Ben Stokes took over as captain. He's never been better.
No, he hasn't, and it's just that want to be out there for the team. We'll talk about his 100, and individually we have to talk about how good he is as a player and as a person, but he wakes up in the morning to score runs for his team. He gets so much joy and energy from being in the team, from being in the dressing room, from trying to fight for his teammates. England are in a tricky position. They're 1-0 down in an Ashes series. They played poorly in Perth. They've had a lot of criticism, and they've had to arrive here. They've won a good toss, and they had to win today. When they were 260 odd for 9, I'm thinking, and that partnership with Jofra has just kind of pushed England ahead in this game. Of course, they're going to have to try and find 20 wickets. It won't be easy. This is a pretty good Gabba wicket. And the pink ball goes soft early, particularly on a pitch here that's quite hard. The pink ball gets quite soft quickly. So there's a lot of hard work to go from now to the end of the Test match. But England had to win today. If they'd have lost today, all the members of Perth would have come flooding back. And they needed their best player to stand up. So the pressure was not only on Joe because of his, obviously, record here without the century. The pressure was on him more so because of the team. The team desperately needed him today, and he's delivered once again.
And they needed him early because Ben Duckett out in the first over. Got a good one from Starc, to be fair. Pope, perhaps not quite so much. England number 3 chopping on. It's a regular mode of dismissal for him, like it was in the second dig last week was a regular mode of dismissal for him. It feels like Bazball has kind of made his career, right? 8 centuries at number 3, but I mean, does it risk kind of breaking him as well?
Well, yeah, I mean, he'll be disappointed because I thought he looked good in Perth.
Yeah.
And, he left his first ball, I thought this is good. And then that second ball was just too close. He just has moments like that he comes out, I mean, in Perth I thought he looked calm. Today he went back to what Ollie Pope can look like, when he just looks a little bit panicky, not quite calm, not kind of controlled, not kind of trusting his technique. And it's a really bad way to get out at number 3 when your team's lost an early one. There was 2 or 3 big errors today. Harry Brook. They waited and waited, Australia, to bring Mitchell Starc into the attack in the middle session. Twilight, wait, Mitchell, there you go. Second ball. I mean,
what do you make of that? Well, obviously, such a prodigious talent and a ball striker. I mean, we would all dream of hitting the ball the way he does. He's got this incredible eye, right? And he gets off to a flyer, and then first ball he faced from Starc.
No, he's better than that. You know, even like the ramp shot that he played, I'm thinking, why? You don't need to. You know, he's got to be very careful that he's got so many shots and he's got so much ability to hit the ball 360. That sometimes in Test match cricket, the best players, Joe Root today, where did he score his runs? Just in 2 or 3 areas, and he's there 130 odd not out. You know, Harry Brook's played some incredible innings for innings, but it's been generally when the ball's been not doing a great deal. You know, the pitches haven't been quite bouncing as much as they do in Australia. I just think he's got to find a way of being more consistent by just playing more simple, aggressive strokes. I don't think he needs to play too many fancy strokes. He's too good a player. That dismissal today, it wasn't necessary. No, his body shape was back and he was trying to launch it. I don't know whether it was over extra cover, over mid-on. I can't work it out. But it's a poor shot for such a good player, particularly when England were on top. And surely, as a good player, and he's going to be a great player, you know, you've got to realise situations, and the situation was Mitchell Starc had been thrown the ball. If that had been Jasprit Bumrah in the summer, he wouldn't have done that. The way that they played Bumrah in the summer was very, very respectful, very committed to making sure that they saw him off. They've got to do the same to Mitchell Starc. If they see off Mitchell Starc in the second innings nicely, England will win this Test match. If they allow Starc to get 6 for in the second innings, England can lose this Test match.
Now you've mentioned Mitchell Starc, we better go into the hotspot. Mitchell Starc, Vorney, the pink ball. He's taken more than double the wickets of the second most, 87 at 16. This is his 3rd 6-for in the first innings in a row. Another day where he's taken a wicket in his first over. His numbers, and by way of average, is plummeting. Has he ever been better than this? By the way, on the day, he only went and overtook Wasim Akram as the most prolific left-arm quick ever.
Yeah, he's. I saw that spell in Jamaica when he got 6 for 9. I thought, oh, he looks in good rhythm. But he's then brought it back to Australia. And the first 2 overs in Perth, you could see that he had the flow. And he made bowling quick look so easy. And he's just done it in the second innings in Perth. He's arrived here with the pink ball, sets the tone. You got to remember there's no Cummins and Hazelwood.
Yep.
So there's huge amounts of pressure on Mitchell Starc. And to think that he's gone past Wasim Akram, you know, and the guy he's such a humble human being. Straight away he said, I'm not as good as Wasim Akram. And everyone's going to say, oh, is he better than Wasim Akram because he's gone past him? He himself has said, no. You know, he's almost laughed it off. But he's probably doing that because he's a humble human being. He's right up there with Wasim Akram in terms of what he's delivered across all the formats throughout his career, and he's still going.
Yeah, all the formats, the World Cup wins, the IPL victory. I mean, it's an astonishing all-round career for Mitchell Starc. As we leave the hotspot and we press fast forward, I'm actually going to ask you about something else, which is kind of backward-looking but also forward-looking in the context of Test cricket. 74 overs today. Nathan Lyon didn't play. It's a talking point in its own right, but not having a spinner, only getting through 74, 16 short. It's glaring.
Yeah, I've said I've been trying to create systems in terms of how do we get more overs bowled in a day's play? Do we penalise teams that are 8 overs down? Australia, would they get through their overs quicker if they got penalised 20 overs 20 runs per over? Probably would get them quicker. On the 5th day, we have to bowl the 90 overs. I'd just make it very simple. You've just got to bowl the 90 overs. You know, why do we wait to the 5th day to say to the teams, you have to bowl the 90 overs? Just bowl the 90 overs on day one. We might be here till 3 in the morning with the way that they bowl them, but I think that's the only way that you'd stop it. And it's the only way that you get the teams to get through the overs quicker. You have to bowl your 90, and by the way, we're out there until you do so.
Yeah, I think, like in county cricket, Vorney, you bowl your overs and you get penalised. It might be the double whammy, the carrot and the stick. We'll find out. Tomorrow morning, they resume, well, tomorrow afternoon rather, resume with a 61-run unbeaten stand for the 10th wicket from 44 balls. It's been that kind of day. Crick Buzz Chatter, Adam Collins, Michael Vaughan, signing off on a day where Joe Root raised his 40th Test ton, and what a ton it was. Good night.
Good night.